A few weeks ago, a client came into my clinic completely convinced her cat hated her. Genuinely convinced. The cat was hiding constantly, barely eating, and it started peeing on the bathroom mat instead of the litter box. She kept saying, "I don't understand. I give her everything. Why is she punishing me?" And here's the thing, the cat wasn't punishing her at all. The cat was following a set of rules, very real, very consistent rules that this particular owner had been breaking without even realizing it. Once we walked through what was actually going on, fixed about 3 small things in the house, that cat was back to normal within 2 weeks. I'm Dr. Kate Lewis. I'm a veterinarian. And this happens far more often than people think. Cats live by an unspoken code, and most owners have never actually been told what it is. So today, I want to walk you through 7 of the most important rules your cat is silently expecting you to follow, based on actual feline behavior guidelines, not internet guesswork. Some of these are going to surprise you. A couple of them might explain a problem you've been dealing with for months without knowing why. Let's start with rule number 1, and this is one I see violated constantly. Never corner your cat, ever, even by accident. Here's why this matters so much more than people realize. Cats are both predator and prey in the wild. And that second part never fully goes away, no matter how many generations of domestication we're talking about. A cat that feels like it has no way out of a situation, even a mildly uncomfortable one, like being picked up for a nail trim or approached in a small bathroom, experiences a genuine spike in stress hormones. Feline behavior guidelines actually list this as one of the basic environmental needs every cat has: access to a private space they can retreat to, ideally somewhere elevated, where they feel like they're the one controlling the interaction. If your cat regularly gets boxed into a corner, even gently, even with love, you're working against one of their most fundamental instincts. The fix is simple. Always give them a path out. Don't pin them against furniture. Don't close the door behind you when you're trying to give medication or trim nails. Let them feel like leaving is always an option, even if they don't take it. Rule number 2, and I promise, this one explains more litter box problems than almost anything else I see in clinic. Your litter box situation is probably not as clean, in your cat's eyes, as you think it is. There's an actual guideline vets use here, called the N+1 rule. 1 litter box per cat, plus 1 extra. So if you have 1 cat, you technically need 2 boxes. 2 cats, 3 boxes. I know that sounds like a lot, and I know most households don't do this, and most of the time it's fine. But here's the part people miss. It's not just about quantity, it's about cleanliness and placement too. Cats have an extremely strong preference for a clean box, every single time. And research has actually confirmed this isn't just a preference. Dirty or crowded litter situations are directly linked to a stress-related bladder condition in cats called FLUTD. If your cat has ever suddenly started avoiding the box, going right next to it instead of in it, that's not spite, and it's not an accident. In feline medicine, we almost never call this a behavior problem first. We call it a husbandry problem, meaning something about the setup is making your cat genuinely uncomfortable. Scoop daily if you possibly can, and never put the box right next to their food and water. To a cat, that's like asking you to eat lunch next to a public restroom. Rule number 3, stop staring directly at your cat, especially when you're trying to bond with them. This one trips up so many well-meaning owners because in human culture, eye contact means engagement, warmth, attention. In cat language, it usually means the exact opposite. Direct, sustained eye contact is read as a potential threat signal. It's how predators lock onto something before they move. If you're constantly leaning in and staring directly into your cat's eyes, trying to show affection, you might actually be making them tense without realizing it. The fix here connects to something I've talked about before, the slow blink. Instead of a hard stare, soften your eyes, blink slowly, and look away occasionally. That's the version of eye contact that actually reads as friendly in their language, not the intense, unblinking stare we'd use with another person. Rule number 4, and this one is, genuinely, one of the most important things I tell every single new cat owner. Never punish your cat. Not yelling, not a spray bottle, not tapping their nose, none of it. I know that might go against what a lot of people grew up believing, but this is actually written directly into official feline care guidelines. Cats should not be punished, full stop, because the way their brain processes consequences doesn't work the way ours does, or even the way a dog's does. A cat doesn't connect, "I got yelled at," with "the thing I did 3 seconds ago." What they actually learn instead is, "This person is unpredictable and sometimes scary." That's it. That's the entire lesson they take away. And here's the part that really worries me as a vet. Cats living in homes with frequent punishment or yelling show measurably higher rates of stress-related illness. Things like that same FLUTD I mentioned earlier, or compulsive over-grooming to the point of bald patches. If your cat is doing something you don't want, the actual fix is almost always removing access to the problem, scratching post instead of the couch, or redirecting with play. Never fear-based correction. Rule number 5, and this is a quieter one that most people never even think about. Your cat wants their resources spread out, not clustered together. Food, water, litter box, resting spots, scratching areas, each one of these should ideally be in its own separate location, not all crammed into one corner of one room. This goes back to how cats naturally operate in the wild. They don't eat where they eliminate. They don't rest where they hunt. When everything's piled together in a small apartment kitchen, it can genuinely create low-grade, constant stress, even if your cat never shows an obvious symptom. If you've got the space, even just moving the water bowl to a different spot than the food bowl can make a noticeable difference. It sounds small. It is small. But cats notice small. Rule number 6. Keep their routine boring and predictable, because boring, to a cat, equals safe. This is one I really want you to sit with for a second, because I think modern life makes it genuinely hard to follow. Cats thrive on consistency. The same feeding times, the same furniture layout, the same general rhythm to the day. When that gets disrupted, a sudden schedule change, new furniture, a different work shift, even rearranging the litter box location, it can trigger real, measurable stress responses. I'm not saying never change anything in your home. That's obviously not realistic. But if you know a big change is coming, try to introduce it gradually where you can, and pay attention afterward. A cat that suddenly starts hiding more, eating less, or grooming excessively after a household change isn't being dramatic. They're telling you their sense of predictability just got disrupted. And rule number 7, the one that catches almost every new cat owner off guard at some point. Never switch your cat's food abruptly. I see this constantly. Someone runs out of their usual brand, grabs whatever's available, and dumps a full bowl of something completely new. And then they're calling me 2 days later because their cat has diarrhea or won't eat at all. Cats have notoriously sensitive digestive systems compared to a lot of other pets. And on top of that, many cats are naturally a little suspicious of unfamiliar food. It's a survival trait, honestly, avoiding things that might not be safe to eat. The standard guidance is to transition any new food gradually, mixing a small amount of the new food in with the old over about a week to 10 days, slowly shifting the ratio. It feels slow. It is slow. But it avoids both the stomach upset and the very real possibility that your cat just refuses to eat the new food entirely. So those are the 7. Give them an exit, keep the box impeccably clean, soften your eyes instead of staring, never punish, redirect instead, spread their resources out, protect their routine, and transition food slowly. Here's what I told that client whose cat I mentioned at the start. None of this is about your cat being difficult or stubborn or ungrateful. It's that cats are running on an instinct set that's thousands of years old, and most of us were never actually taught the rule book. Once you start following it, even just a few of these, you'll usually see a calmer, more affectionate cat within a couple of weeks. Not because they suddenly love you more, but because their environment finally stopped quietly working against them. If you just realized you've been breaking one or two of these without knowing it, you are absolutely not alone. Almost every owner I talk to is breaking at least one. Hit that like button if this helped. It really does help this information reach more cat owners dealing with exactly this. Subscribe for more of these breakdowns, and tell me in the comments which one of these 7 did you not know about. I want to know which one surprised you the most. Give your cat a gentle scratch behind the ears from me, and I'll see you in the next video.